So today I've got this vintage Junghans military style watch. It's got a J98 manual wind movement in it, which seems to be in pretty nice condition with the exception of the balance wheel. So the balance staff's broken and it just needs a new one. I've managed to pick up a new balance staff for it, so I'm going to tear the movement down, give it a good inspection, make sure everything else is in good working order, give it a full service, and then fit the new balance staff, and then hopefully get it working again. So it's quite a nice watch. You can see it's signed on the case back. It's a little bit dirty and the crystals are quite scratched, but I'll either polish that up or just replace it. So you can see here it's been opened a few times in the past. There's quite a bit of wear on this piece. Just pop that open there. So looking inside, the case back's got some markings in there, so some will be from previous services, and then there's one big bit that looks like it says Mildenhall across the back. So now we've got the case back off. See the movement's fairly nice, fairly clean. Doesn't look to be any kind of major damage or anything like that, with the exception of the balance staff. But obviously we'll have a look at all the pivots, have a look at all the jewels closer up, replace the mainspring, give it a good clean and service. So the first thing we want to do is get the crown out, just using this screw here. Just needs a little bit of pressure and it comes straight out. Next thing we're going to get you can see the balance wheel wants to turn, but fortunately that one of the pivots is broken, so we can't do that. So the movement rings out. So the next thing to do is get the movement out. It's not too bad. It's a little bit stiff, so it wouldn't just drop out. But now we've got that out there. So if we turn that over, you can see we've got a little bit of damage to the loom on the hands. You have to be a little bit careful in case it's the radioactive material that they've used in this one. But other than that, the dial is actually in quite nice condition, really. The loom on the numbers has gone a little bit, but I'm not too bothered about that. So moving that to the side, you can see got the case, the main part of the case. There's a fair amount of wear to the plating on the back of the lugs, which is to be expected. And yeah, I think I might change that. So first thing we're going to do is get the hands off. Just put the dial protector down, make sure we're not damaging too much. You've got to be careful because this loom on these hands look like they're particularly fragile. Hopefully, if we're gentle, we won't damage them anymore. Now the dial's held on slightly differently than some watches. This one's got two screws just here and here. Obviously normally you'd have dial feet or something similar to that, which are attached either by screws from the side or from the back. But actually this one's slightly different, so we'll just get these out. Screws seem to be maybe cross-threaded slightly, so hopefully we can still get this off without damaging the dial. There we go. So I'll move that out of the way. So now we've got the dial off. You can see the keyless works. You can also see that the click springs this side, so we have to get the dial off to let the mainspring down. Obviously the other option is to let the movement run down, but that can be quite dangerous. There's some damage, some parts along the way, so I've obviously taken the dial off first. so we just can continue to strip the movement down. Ensure you let down any springs first beforehand. I think you don't want those popping around everywhere. So the screw for the keyless works is actually a left-hand thread rather than right. So some little bits you always got to remember. Some normally, you can tell because there's an extra couple of lines on top of the screw, but for this particular one there isn't. So I always say with the vintage watches, or with any watch really, just don't force the screw too much, because it might be the opposite thread to what you think it is. This. The posts are screwed in. We'll leave those screws in. There's no need to take those out. So moving that aside, I think the first thing we want to do is look at this balance wheel. So I've just got the parts back from the parts cleaner. Before I put them in there, actually taking the balance jewels caps out, I noticed that the actual jewel is set into the balance cock and the main plate permanently, so they don't come out like in most modern watches. So that's something slightly different. I also, when looking for a new balance staff, I took the old one apart and actually found a complete balance, so I'm going to use that instead of a new balance staff. It's all new old stock, so it's completely mint condition. That should go in there just nice. So once I've finished oiling the movement up and putting it back together again, that should go in there nicely. So I use set a version oilers, just quite various different sizes, but they just help control the flow of the oil a little bit better. Now flip the movement back over, we're just going to finish off the keyless works. Now I need to put the hour wheel back on. And we can get the dial back on now, remembering this is done with a couple of small screws rather than dial feet. Now we're going to get the hands back on. I'm going to use a small press for this. Just helps you be a little bit more careful with them. Start with the subdial hand. Now we've got those in, we're just going to make sure they don't cross or touch at any point, and that they all will line up nicely. Cool, that's good. Now we need to get the watch back into the case. We've completed the full service, and here we have the fully assembled watch. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be posting more videos soon.